Hi, my name is Brant Lucas with the Park City Fire District, and welcome to the first of 4 virtual workshops we'll be hosting on the Park City Fire's YouTube site. May is National Wildfire Awareness Month, and here in Park City we'll be furthering our wildfire education and awareness as well. Today we're going to be focusing on a Firewise community and what that means to Park City and why that's important to us.
What is the Firewise USA program? The Firewise USA program encourages local solutions for safety by involving homeowners and taking individual responsibility for preparing their homes from the risk of wildfire. The program provides resources to help homeowners learn how to adapt to living with wildfire and encourages neighbors to work together to take action now to prevent losses.
Well, May is the National Wildfire Awareness Month every year, and I think it's a good time to consider why Park City is so popular among tourists and secondary homeowners. And it is because of the growth and the plants that we have here, the trees, the beauty that nature provides us here in Park City. Wildfire represents an immediate threat to that beauty, and as such, it represents a threat to the economy of the Park City Fire District and the surrounding areas. So, Firewise is a nationally recognized program that's a volunteer program among the residents in any given community. And here in Park City, we have firefighter Brant Lucas that heads up this project. And he's teaching homeowners what they can do, what part they can have in making our community safer and more resilient to the potential wildfires that exist, because we have a lot of what we call fire load. Trees and plants, other plants represent fire load. So the homeowner can make their property safer, and by doing that, they help our economy stay what it is. We have a tourist-driven and a secondary homeowner economy. People come here because it's very beautiful, and a wildfire represents an immediate threat to that. So the part that the homeowners can take in making their homes safer and more resilient from wildfire, or the effects of a potential wildfire, definitely affects not only the economy, but our firefighters' safety too. It can be a very dangerous proposition. As the fire chief, I have to maintain a wildfire firefighting crew that's worthy of fighting these big, potentially big wildfires. So you as a homeowner can take a very active part in helping prevent wildfires here in the Park City Fire District.
In 2008, my wife and I moved to Summit Park, and we quickly realized that there was a need to bring to light some education and some awareness of the threat that we have here in Summit Park. We live in kind of a unique spot. This is kind of a transitional zone, mixed conifers, a lot of different types of vegetation, and I have a pretty good background in fire suppression management and forestry health. So I took that knowledge and skill and I applied it to the Homeowners Association, and with that we brought some awareness, education, and some incentive programs which kind of brought us to a position where we feel comfortable in where we are right now. We all live here in a community where we all kind of share the responsibility. We can't rely on one government agency to do everything for us. So what we're trying to do is have people take on personal responsibility directly around their house, hardening their homes, doing some fuel mitigation issues around the property itself. Fire has no boundaries. So if we all work together and do our little part individually, as an aggregate, we can really protect our community. We have really good support from Basin Recreation with their work within Toll Canyon. We have now almost about, maybe I would say about 75% shaded fuel break up and around Summit Park. That was initiated, and the work was done and managed by the state of Utah with financial support from the Forest Service.
You know, everybody moved up to the mountains here with their big lots just to kind of get away from people, be out in nature, and enjoy the surroundings. When I moved up here just recently, we bought the property 4 or 5 years ago, and we've been clearing the land ever since, and we noticed that there was no concerted effort to work on getting egress routes or clearing back the deadfall, the dead brush. Some of our owners here think that by having small roads and thick over a brush, that it'll slow the traffic down. Others just like that country feel. So we're trying to get everyone on the same page, and the Firewise program kind of drives that point home. It helps everyone have a resource to see what we're trying to do, what we're trying to achieve, the end product. And some of us have the vision and some don't. So the Firewise and NFPA's websites just really help bring everyone together. I think everything's really gaining steam. We've had some blue ribbon committees with the Park City Fire Department. We've been able to meet up with other HOAs, and HOAs have been hesitant, just like ours, moving forward. But by talking to one another, we realized we all have the same problem. So, you know, the Firewise, Summit County, everything's been great, bringing everyone together and pushing us forward in the right direction.
One of the things that makes Park City so special is our local partners.
So Basin Recreation is very grateful to have partnerships throughout this community. We not only partner with local HOAs, but with other municipalities, with the Park City municipality, with the Summit County government. We partner with the fire district, we partner with the state on all different kinds of projects that help us educate and work with our communities to become more fire resilient, to become more fire wise, to be good partners in those relationships. So Basin Recreation manages roughly 2,000 acres of open space throughout the Snyderville Basin. All of our properties border either Park City municipality, HOA properties around, other private property, other private open space, and the partnerships that we can create and connect with the communities helps us extend our reach beyond the borders of our own properties to make sure that the projects we're doing are going to their full impact that they can. Not only are we doing work in our open space, but it extends beyond our borders into the communities to help extend that fire resilience for the neighborhoods. So a healthy forest not only reduces the likelihood of a catastrophic fire, but it can provide clean air, clean water, more resilient habitat for wildlife and plant communities. And we get there by managing the forest in the way that nature would manage it, by the way of thinning trees, creating pockets in the area, burning piles, and managing that forest for what it should be.
Firewise techniques include minimizing the risk of home ignition by carefully landscaping around residential structures, such as thinning trees and brush, and choosing fire-resistant plants, selecting ignition-resistant building material, and positioning structures away from slopes. Firewise USA has put out some great product for the individual homeowner to take a look at. And one of those documents is talking about your immediate zone, your intermediate zone, and your extended zone around your structure. Here I'm around a structure, and I'm going to talk about your immediate zone for a minute. We have some great defensible space going on right here. We have no vegetation within that 0 to 5 feet within the structure. And then out to our intermediate zone, we're looking at a little bit more thinning. We can start having a little bit more vegetation, but we want to be relatively sparse. We live here in nature. We want to continue to live here in nature. We don't need to be clear-cutting our forests down around our structures, but there are some things that we can do in the future to help us out when there's in the event of a wildfire. And then as we move out from 30 feet out to 100 feet, maybe beyond, maybe closer, depending on your property line and your next door neighbor, but we want to start removing vegetation out in those farther reaches from your property. As we start moving back to our structure, in the future, we're gonna have a hard conversation about home hardening. And that is the building construction or the maintenance of your structure throughout the years. The steps the community has to take to become Firewise is, starts out with the organizing, and that's create a fire board. And then it turns into the planning process, that's the CWPP process. And then getting out after it, whether that's out there doing mitigation, prevention, or education as a community, that's what makes a community Firewise.
That's going to wrap up this workshop. Thanks to everyone that helped out. Check out next week when we're going to be chatting with state and local officials on what the current and projections look like for the upcoming fire season.